back on the F1 circuit, the Qatar Grand Prix will take place this year at the Losail International Circuit. Then, from 2023 onwards, the track will have a fixed place on the Formula 1 calendar. But why is the race not coming to us in 2022? We'll explain everything you need to know about the Qatar Grand Prix, its re-emergence in Formula 1 here in this GPFans special. Before we go any further, hit the subscribe button down below to stay up to date with everything we do at the channel, including, of course, the run into this last triple header and then the last two Grand Prix in Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi. You do not want to miss any of the action or any of our content here as well at the channel. But for now, let's talk all things Qatar. Due to the pandemic, Formula 1 has continued to adjust its calendar throughout the 2021 season, particularly in the last few months. However, the last 5 stops of the World Tour are finally fixed and in place. The Australian Grand Prix, you may remember, was moved from March to November before being cut from the calendar this year due to COVID-19 problems. This created an empty space. At the end of September, it was announced that this place would be filled by the Qatar Grand Prix. The race in the Middle East will take place on the weekend of the 19th to the 21st of November, and together with Mexico and Brazil will make up the last triple header of the Formula 1 season. Now, F1 also announced at the end of September that it has signed a 10-year deal with the organisation of the Qatar Grand Prix, which will enter into force in 2023. However, the race in the Middle East is missing from the 2022 calendar. Why exactly is that? Now, of course, it was not at all the intention to race in Qatar this season. It wasn't on the initial calendar for 2021, but because of the coronavirus, F1 had to look for alternatives. Qatar, who had long hoped to win a place back on the Formula 1 calendar, couldn't let this opportunity slip through their fingers. For the top motor racing class, the choice of Qatar is also logical. The European part of the season is already over, so an extra race in Europe is not really obvious. On the other hand, the number of circuits outside of Europe that can and want to step in and fill the void of hosting a Formula 1 Grand Prix in the short term is very rare indeed. It is also extremely dependent on the current conditions in those countries. The fact that Qatar's Grand Prix will not take place next year can easily be explained. Qatar is organising the Football World Cup in 2022, which will be held at the end of that year. The tournament kicks off on Monday, the 21st of November 2022. The final is scheduled for Sunday, the 18th of December that year. If we look at the recent Formula 1 calendars, there is a good chance that the Grand Prix at the Losail International Circuit will fall at the end of the calendar year. Now, for a relatively small country like Qatar, it is quite a task to organise two very large sporting events like that at the same time, especially since they are also organised in the same area of the country. This could also lead to logistical problems, as an awful lot of people have to travel to Qatar for both sporting events. The only question then is whether there are enough flights and hotels to meet that sort of demand, and of course, it would hardly be ideal if the Grand Prix overlapped with a football match at the same time, splitting the attention in the country. So Qatar will remain off the calendar in 2022, although never rule out anything with the Formula 1 calendar at the moment. Imagine if there's a Grand Prix early on in the year that needs to be dropped, and maybe Qatar could step in and fill that void as well. But it is very unlikely it'll happen at the end of the next calendar year. Are you happy to see Qatar back on the calendar? Let us know in the comments section below. Which other tracks would you like to see brought back? I, for one, really want to see the old school Hockenheim of kind of the late 90s era bombing through the forest section at full speed, very similar to Spa-Francorchamps as well. I'd love to see that one back on the calendar. But let us know in the comments section below, and of course hit subscribe to stay up to date with everything we do here at GPFans.